Chapter 1. Prologue. You are listening at FameTV.info. War. That was the only word to describe this deadly occurrence. There were tremors, destructive blasts of wrath. The minor gods could do nothing but cower in fear and helplessness as the primordial ones were engaged in deadly combat. Is this the end? Loki said, cowering in fear. He had witnessed the destruction of his older brother, Thor, who was foolish enough to stand against one of the primordials, the one who instigated the conflict they were all experiencing. Why did it have to come to this? Hephaestus gritted his teeth. His forge had been destroyed, along with over 1/3 of the entire heavenly realm. At this rate, we/LL all be killed. Anubis groaned. He had suffered a great injury, which cost him his right hand and left eye. This was caused by a mere fragment of the radiation from the combat. I was foolish enough to draw closer to witness the fight. And now I/VE forever lost parts of my body. The god of the dead bellowed. He looked at his fellow god, Osiris, who was struggling to breathe now. For one who was said to guide fallen ones to the afterlife, the one who weighed their actions and delivered judgment to them. He was the one who now feared death. Anubis was powerless as he watched his comrade breathe his last. Even gods could die. It was an easy task for the primordial ones who stood above the rest of them. As the gods looked above them, watching the heavens get torn apart and everything they had gloriously enjoyed get destroyed and consumed in the conflict, they only had one thought. It/s all/his/ fault. Curse/him/ why did/he/ have to do this? These were the thoughts of the gods as they watched the devastating war between the primordials. The cause of this conflict was the /he/ whom they all despised and raged against. He was none other than Hexarion, the primordial of the sixth aspect. They could do nothing but watch and pray. The gods all prayed in their hearts that the one who caused all the havoc and chaos would be vanquished by the 5 primordial ones who rose against him. They were the mightiest and as such only they could defeat Hexarion. We pray primordials. The gods, the ones who were to be worshipped, now prayed with all they had. Please pass your judgment on the evil one. Hexarion. Meanwhile, the primordial gods gazed at their enemy. He had been severely wounded by their assault on him, yet he would not relent. Stop your foolishness, Hexarion. A single primordial cannot hope to defeat 5-inch Leviathan stated. Hexarion remained silent. TCH, let/s just end him. The realms are suffering from the aftershock of our conflict. The time it will take to properly repair them is considerable. All because of your foolish tantrum. Gilga said in annoyance. The other 3 didn't even bother speaking or reasoning with Hexarion. There was only one solution and end to the conflict at hand. The destruction of Hexarion. What makes you so certain that you are able to achieve that? Hexarion said slowly with a crooked smile. Since no primordial one had ever been destroyed in the past, they were unsure whether even they could kill Hexarion. However, Leviathan was certain of what to do. No matter what farce you may make, or what doubt you seek to plant, there is no question about it, your foolishness ends here. Leviathan stated with composure. Hexarion/s smile disappeared. It was just like Leviathan to see through his guise. It is true that as long as you possess an aspect we are unable to kill you since it is essential part of this world/s existence. Without it, the entire universe will fall out of balance, just like the rest of ours as well. Leviathan said. Then, Gilga protested. Was there really no way to permanently get rid of the bastard? However, that brings us to the solution. We will take your aspect from you, you are unworthy of possessing it. And thereafter, your destruction is only inevitable. Leviathan stated with authority. And how do you plan on doing that? Hexarion said, feeling cornered. I possess the aspect of law. I command the nature of this world, and I can even see the unwritten rules of our existence. While it is impossible for me to do it alone, we are numbered 5. And therefore Hexarian. No. Hexarian said, dreading what was coming. You are hereby. Leviathan continued. Stop this. Hexarian appealed. Stripped of your aspect. Leviathan commanded. No. Hexarian bellowed, as his entire body throbbed, and from within him came a dark orb. Within the orb was a purplish dark whirlpool. The whirlpool swirled within the orb and was like a black hole. The orb slowly began to separate from Hexarian, who could do nothing but groan. His entire body was paralyzed. Then finally, it separated completely from him, leaving Hexarian /S face drained and shocked. The orb began to draw closer to Hexarian again, seeking it /S owner once more. However, the primordial ones wouldn't /T have it. By combining their powers, they made a constraint and restrained the orb. It /S golden cage glowed, and the chains of pure light enveloped the orb. This sealed it /S power, and slowly it drifted away from it /S owner. The constrained orb floated and finally found its place beside the 5 primordial ones, who now stared at Hexarian /S frail body in pale face. And now, to end this, Leviathan declared. You all. You know I /am right. Hexarian said weakly. You are only foolish. Your wish will never be actualized. For the sake of order. This world will not be destroyed. Leviathan replied. I was foolish wasn't /Ti. I trusted you all enough to reveal these things, and you stabbed me in the back. Hexarian groaned. It was you who betrayed us. Soul finally spoke up, as he couldn't /T contain his displeasure. I see. It was my mistake then. But know this. This isn't /T over, not by a long shot. Hexarian said with a weak smile. Of course it is. This is the end of the line for you. Older brother. Leviathan said. The 5 primordials stretched out their hands, and respectively used their aspects, glowing in the already damaged heavens. The aspect of life and death, the aspect of space and time, the aspect of matter and creation, the aspect of energy and power, the aspect of law and dominion. The use of these aspects consecutively blinded the gods who were watching the fight, and the light spread throughout the heavens and even the other realms. The aspect /S powers converged together and poured down on the emaciated Hexarian, too weak to fight back. Your end is now. Farewell, our older brother. Leviathan, as well as the other 4, looked down at Hexarian as he slowly disintegrated. We /LLC about that. Hexarian thought to himself, and with a final chuckle and smile, faded away. It is done. Leviathan sighed. The primordials looked around them, witnessing for the first time, the chaos that had been wrought. Suddenly, one by one, they began falling from the heights which they were and crashed to the ground. Looks like we used up too much power. Soul said as he winced. Yeah. I have never felt this drained. Gilga said in exhaustion. Avalon and Kronos also wheezed and throbbed as they lay on the ground, something they had never done before. Any less, and we would not have been able to vanquish him. He wasn't /T the oldest for nothing. Leviathan stated, looking the most composed out of all of them, but still plenty tired. Slowly, the gods began to gather, and then render their applause and cheer to the primordial ones for performing what no one could, destroying the one who would have ended everything. All hail the primordial ones. They cheered and worshipped. Hail, 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 they hailed and cheered. The primordial one smiled. Finally, the only one who could stand in their way was gone, and even though they possessed his aspect, they couldn't /T do anything but keep it sealed. Leviathan could, however, not shake off the bad feeling he had concerning Hexarian. Not only had he stirred conflict among them, but he had caused this much destruction. Things might have even ended differently if they had not struck first and caught him off guard. But that was all in the past. They had won. The humans and inhabitants of the other realms were under their control, and there was finally going to be order once more. They had won, but at what cost? Nearly half of the heavens had been destroyed, 1/3 of the gods had died, and even the other realms had suffered damage. Such was his power. The primordial of the sixth aspect. The aspect of the void. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.